The pharmacy was quiet that Tuesday evening, the kind of quiet that hums with small-town routine. I stood at the counter, waiting for my son Ethan's insulin refill, my fingers tapping nervously. Ethan, my 12-year-old, has type 1 diabetes, and every vial is a lifeline. Then she walked in Karen, the neighborhood's self-appointed queen, dripping in a tailored coat, her heels clicking like a countdown. She didn't wait her turn. She never did. "This place is a mess," she snapped, shoving past me to berate the pharmacist about her urgent prescription. Her eyes flicked to my bag of insulin vials on the counter, and her lip curled. "Why do some people get special treatment?" she muttered, loud enough for everyone to hear. I clenched my jaw, ignoring her. I didn't know then that her petty grudge would spiral into something unthinkable. Karen wasn't just a nuisance. She was a storm. She'd moved to our quiet suburb a year ago, turning every PTA meeting and block party into her stage. She complained about entitled families like mine, claiming our sick kid got us unfair perks. Ethan's condition wasn't a perk hit, was a daily battle. Insulin kept him alive, and Karen knew it. I'd overheard her at a community event, dismissing diabetes as just bad parenting. That night at the pharmacy, her resentment boiled over. As I stepped away to answer a call from Ethan's school, Karen lingered near the counter. The pharmacist later told me she saw Karen grab my bag of insulin vials and storm out. I returned to find my son's medicine gone. Panic hit like a punch. "She took it," the pharmacist whispered, pointing toward the back alley. I ran outside, heart pounding, and there she was, Karen, standing by the dumpster, tossing the last of Ethan's insulin vials into the trash. Glass shattered against metal, and she laughed, a cold, triumphant sound. "Maybe now you'll stop milking sympathy," she sneered, brushing her hands like she'd just won a game. I froze, rage and fear colliding. Those vials were Ethan's lifeline for the month. Without them, his blood sugar could spike, sending him into a coma or worse. I screamed for help, and a passerby called 911. Karen didn't run. She stood there, arms crossed, as if daring me to challenge her. The crowd that gathered whispered in shock, but her smug expression never wavered. She thought she was untouchable. The police arrived, and the truth unraveled fast. Security footage from the pharmacy showed Karen snatching the bag and striding out, her face twisted with spite. But here's where the story twists. The pharmacist, a quiet woman named Maria, stepped forward with a bombshell. She'd known Karen from years ago, when they worked together at a clinic. Karen had been fired for tampering with patient records, targeting those she deemed unworthy of care. Maria had kept silent, fearing retaliation, but seeing Ethan's insulin destroyed pushed her to speak. "She's done this before," Maria said, her voice shaking. She'd hide medications from patients she didn't like. The crowd gasped. Karen's facade cracked, her eyes darting as she realized her past was catching up. The police cuffed her, charging her with theft and reckless endangerment. But it wasn't over. The confrontation came the next day at the station, where I faced Karen across a cold metal table. She didn't apologize. Instead, she doubled down, claiming she was teaching me a lesson about relying on handouts. Her lawyer, a slick man in an overpriced suit, tried to spin it as a misunderstanding, but the evidence was ironclad. The shattered vials, the footage, Maria's testimony, it all painted a picture of calculated cruelty. Then came the real blow. The district attorney elevated the charges to attempted murder. Karen's actions weren't just vandalism. They endangered a child's life. Federal charges followed when investigators found she'd crossed state lines to dodge her past misconduct. The room fell silent as the officer read the charges. Karen's smugness vanished, replaced by a pale, trembling panic. For the first time, she looked small. Karen's downfall was swift and brutal. The community turned on her. Neighbors who once tolerated her arrogance now shared stories of her bullying, how she'd mocked a single mom's grocery cart or reported a veteran's therapy dog as a nuisance. Social media exploded, with Justice for Ethan trending locally. Karen's pristine reputation unraveled as her past misdeeds surfaced, each one uglier than the last. At her hearing, she tried to play the victim, claiming she was misunderstood and stressed. The judge wasn't buying it. Ethan, sitting in the courtroom, clutched my hand as the gavel fell. Karen faced up to 7 years for attempted murder, plus federal penalties. The crowd outside cheered, but I felt no joy, only relief. Ethan was safe, but the cost of Karen's vendetta lingered. The aftermath wasn't just about punishment. It was about healing. Ethan started a blog, sharing his story to raise awareness about diabetes and the stigma around it. Maria, the pharmacist, became an unexpected ally, volunteering at local clinics to ensure no one else faced what we did. Karen's actions, meant to harm, sparked a movement of empathy in our town. People began checking on each other, sharing resources, and calling out entitlement wherever it reared its head. It wasn't perfect, but it was progress. Ethan's smile returned, brighter than ever, and that was enough. This story isn't just about one woman's cruelty, it's about resilience and accountability. Karen thought she could destroy us, but she only exposed her own darkness. What do you think? Where do we draw the line between personal grudges and criminal acts? Share your thoughts, because stories like this demand we question what's right and wrong.